Hello, I'm John Joe. Welcome to Lime War. Today we have, again, Damonsav666 versus Operating Thetan. And this is, I guess, kind of a rematch. I'm not sure which order these matches were played in. I know I got Valifor's rematch in reverse. And I think it was Valifor versus Prochelist. I can't remember. I think that's what it was. So anyway, Operating Thetan's up here. He's gone for factories. And he's going for artillery and he's expanding down the map. They both wanted to start in this location here. But instead, Damon decided to go down this location and he's gone for airfield straight away. I definitely think you need some barracks in this game this early on, but there isn't that much land anyway to grab, so this is quite a large chunk of land, and there's an island over there and a little island over here. Kind of looks like England and Ireland if you squint, like a lot. But yeah, so this is what we've got. And he's going for an energy well this time, so that should help his airfields run a bit better. And he's gone for some eco early, which I never like to go for eco this early on in the game, but I have been proven that can work too. So Operating Thetan, however, is still just focused on expanding and is going into tanks straight away, which is quite nice, but he hasn't got any energy supply. So from the match beforehand, we had lots of energy for Thetan and no energy for Damon. This time I think it's going to go the other way around, but he did claim this, actually. I've just spotted. So when he started the game, he must have claimed this land. So he didn't have to build any naval structures, so he does have energy for him, actually. So those tanks will be able to be funded once he starts producing this. I think that's going to be his next structure, that's why he's not building anything. Partly because he doesn't have the money to build anything, but yeah, so you can wait to build your energy a little bit, because it takes a while to build up the numbers to waste the energy you have. And that way you can start expanding a little faster. That's the only thing I'd suggest on that. Also, on this map, I think I would have chose a different start location. I probably would have chose this location here to start, because of the defense on the mountains against here, maybe a bit in as well. And also because of the trade routes up here. If you can claim that, that would be great late game. And over here, there's just a lot of territory you can grab, so if your enemy starts on one side or the other, you can just plan accordingly. So if you end up with this area, try and take it quick and then try and overpower your enemy before they can get these trade routes set up. Because there is even one that leads all the way up here, but they still have to control these ones down here for any of them to work. I certainly wouldn't have started on the other islands. But he has tanks now already, and he's going to use them to try and take over some territory by the looks of it, whilst also moving downward. And I think his idea is to get some units on the front line to see where the enemy is. And he's going to use these tanks to plow through, as well as the infantry that are going to be on the front line afterwards. You can see this is a choke point, so he set up this orange line here, so that they line up against it and take formation. He has spotted the enemy now, so that was a pretty good prediction, to be fair. Damonsav is going straight up for this area, which is probably a good move, just in case the enemy is over here, so that you can sneak round into there as quick as you can, rather than trying to focus on every territory in this area, which you can claim later, depending on what happens. But this early on, you want to try and gain a good understanding of what you actually control. We have those artillery lining up nicely. These infantry are going to get stuck by this town if they stay there. They're going to have to start moving around the town to actually attack these units, which will give them more time to fire. He's actually building in fortifications here because he thinks this is going to be a long battle there, but I do think he could push through straight after they get there, but it doesn't look like Damon has noticed this yet, or he doesn't care too much. I think he's just going to push through, capturing some territory anyway. But he hasn't sent any other extra units that way general, so he might just be relying on his air units. Might be thinking he can send the air units that way, and because the enemy is focused on tanks, I think he can get away with that for a bit, but as soon as they switch into SAM units, he's going to have a problem. And the tanks are on their own path now. They're going to go down this way and try and find where the enemy is, but he is running out of energy. He does have production of energy. Oh, there's an energy well there as well. I didn't even spot that. Need to check my eyes. There is energy well up here, but he can't get access to that. He does have this one in the water. I'm surprised he's using this one first. Yeah, those tanks are going to sneak round. He's not on haste mode, so they're just going to casually walk around that way. Or not walk, next, but you know what I mean. Strikers are en route. They did spot those tanks there, I think, and they're going to come in through this angle here. They're actually using a line command to get there. He spotted the smoke, so he might know that the enemy is out of energy. And right now, because storage is full, that energy well is not actually producing anything right now. But it still is above the 30 anyway, so it's not too bad. It's just because he set it up early, which is actually kind of a good thing to have that extra storage early on, I suppose. And those strikers are getting in some free hits on Thetan, and Thetan hasn't switched his units out yet. He might just... There you go, he's actually done it now. He's got a SAM unit being produced. With so many strikers in the air, I'd probably start 2 factories producing them, especially after these ones get produced. These tanks. He's keeping his tanks back now, so those strikers and air units don't get them. I don't think he noticed the ones that were in the forest here because of the stealth, but there's one in the mountain there that is unveiled. And he's setting up some storage now to help the production, but at this point I don't think he needed it. Because he's now under that 30, so it will start producing again anyway. And these strikers are still coming in to take out these tanks, and they will pretty much be uncontested for a while the enemy tries to switch into SAM units. He's getting a lot of SAM units. They've got 4 coming out straight away. He probably will have tanks next. He's doing half and half, I think. He's got 2 energy wells, so those will easily be able to supply the tanks the energy they need. And he's going for some eco now as he's coming close to taking over all the territory he actually can here. He could try and get some commandos here or transport boats there. There we go, the strikers are going to come in and take a lot of, give a lot of damage to these tanks, and there is quite a few strikers there right now. Damon's actually got a fair amount of production there. He's also got some helicopters available to him. I'm going to have a quick look at the eco as they've kind of maxed out that area, but I think Thetan is going this way, not because he wants to get a good scout off. I think he's trying to find extra territories that he can grab that Damon just hasn't got yet. And at this point we have 480 from Damon and 480 from Thetan, so they're pretty equal when it comes to eco. But Thetan is struggling with his energy, even with 2 tanks right now. It is starting to offset the balance. But Damon, although the tanks are moving around here successfully unchallenged, the offensive units of Damon is breaking this fortification here. There's only 1 unit left on it. But no, those tanks are definitely looking for something to attack. They're going for the energy well. They're expecting the energy to be there. I can't remember if it is. It is, yes. That's where the energy is, and that's where those tanks are heading. And these strikers will circle this area. You can see that what they're planning to do. And when they circle there, they'll start destroying tanks that I didn't even know there was one there. Oh yeah, there was 2 lines set up, wasn't there? These units are going to come through this way and start attacking, but I don't think he can see too much of what's going on there. He's found the SAM units, which is a bit unfortunate for Thetan because his tanks need those SAM units right now. They just can't get there right now, but the artillery is moving in. They're going to start shooting these infantry units. Maybe. Oh, they've linked onto this defensive line, so this defense is actually causing him an issue right now because the units are avoiding attacking. They're going straight towards it, which is giving Demon a chance to actually take some out. These tanks rushing down here, though, are being hit by helicopters as well as the SAM units. But still, they aren't taking enough damage, and they're actually going to be able to take out this energy well quite quickly because they're on haste mode. They're pushing through at the last second, using up all their energy right now, but it's worth it if they can take out this energy well because that will ground Damon's units. He doesn't have any other energy to use. There we go, it goes down, and now he's only got 10 left. He does still have the storage because it's stored in this unit there. Structure there. So Thetan is going straight for that structure to see what's in it. You can see that it's pretty empty, so I think he doesn't consider it worthwhile attacking. And he's going to shoot these airfields as he passes right through this area. He does still want to attack it. He's targeted it with some units. I think he's concerned with how much they're staying in the air, but they are out of energy right now. You can see the smoke coming from them, so they're absolutely useless right now. It would just be worth attacking the airfields instead. On the other side, Damon is going through here, but struggling to keep up momentum there, and he is losing ground to those tanks there. Those artillery are going to take out some, because these are damaged tanks by the looks of it, and I just don't think they're going to last long enough in this area. And at this point, Damon is losing his energy and his structures here. Getting this airfield right now would be an absolute killer for him, because he's got 5 strikers on there, 6 technically, because one's produced there. And not only would you be killing the airfield, you'd be killing each of these aircraft. But he's taken out the economy as well. He's not just focused on the structures. He split his units into 2 groups. He's taken out that town. And now he's got 6 tanks he can run riot with. He's building another energy well right here and storage there. So I think that Operating Thetan is going to go straight for that. Because as soon as that's constructed, which it is now, it's going to start producing energy for him. And these helicopters and strikers will be able to take off once again. At this point, I would have just targeted this instead of the energy well, because he's going to take it out, but he does still need to take the energy well out because of the helicopters. But that attack has devastated Damon so much that he isn't able to keep up the momentum up here, even if these tanks are going to get destroyed by the helicopters. The helicopters are limited in numbers now because they're not going to get reinforced anymore. Which means Operating Thetan is going to be able to build up his numbers on the ground without ploughing his way through the enemy down here. He's got the SAM units on the front line, which is not a good idea, but it doesn't matter too much. I mean, the enemy does still have helicopters, so you do have to be cautious. And well, we got the energy well being built once again. He's still got the storage there, so you don't know how much energy he's got. You know it's probably quite little, but those tanks are still going to come through on haste mode really fast, trying to use up energy, and he's got the energy to do it with, so he may as well. And he's going straight for that energy well once again. See what he can do about those helicopters. And Damon is not worried about it right now. I don't know where his helicopters are. They're on the ground, I think. There's one there. Yeah, they're over here. He still doesn't have enough energy to supply any helicopters to fend off this attack. So he's only really got what he has right now. And he's still trying to expand the map to get his eco going. Which right now he's got 530 and Operating Thetan has 600. So Thetan is quite far ahead considering what's happening in the game. And it's been the energy that's been the killer for these two. But Thetan has been able to manage his energy a lot better in my opinion, and that's what's allowing him to win this fight in both of these games that they've played. And we can see the chain even through the fog of war, so we know that the energy well is in the forest over here, which is the only downside to using the pipes. It does tell the enemy where the structures are. Got another factory about to go down, and that's even before the reinforcements are actually coming in. It's just the tanks that are being on the offensive right now, but Thetan does have a lot of units over here fighting over there. There's this artillery here on his own, and he can't even see what's attacking him, so he's getting destroyed. That's a free kill for Thetan. His barracks is about to go down as well. He's trying to rebuild his eco with a town. He does have enough money to start building up something. In this situation, you're being attacked over here. The enemy knows where you are. Start building over somewhere else. Trying to reclaim something else. Even retreating to one of the other islands on this map would have made you last a lot longer in the game and potentially come back. And if you keep fighting on this map as much as you can, but not too much limiting, you can try and build up a sufficient air army or navy force. Come back later on when the enemy's wasted all of his money on ground units. But investing too heavily in a game like this, where you've got your structures being attacked before they can actually be useful, ends up just being a waste of money, unfortunately. Over here, on the other hand, I am surprised that Operating Thetan is not going for any of the trade routes. He could easily be able to make use of that, just in case the enemy is going for one of the islands. For the long-term game, it would definitely be a wise choice to try and build up your trade economy. And for minimum, you'd probably just need this one I'd go for because of the extra things to get a city on it, and then this one here so you can defend it better. And that's if they're connected, because I don't really know. A bit like spaghetti-ish over there. But now the artillery has arrived, and they are going to be taking out this factory here, but the forest is stealthing some of Damon's units. But Damon has been taken out of that area now, so it's just these structures over here. He's trying to provide it energy with power plants, but at this point he's got 2 helicopters, and I don't think they're worth the investment of this. He's going for the industries over here to increase his economy as well. But I feel like at this point you just need some army to produce, and you need to try and get the enemy away from you before you even worry about the energy that you don't need or the economy right now. And there are some territories over here. You could send some units off to grab those and then bring them back down after. Maybe even in a line like that around over here so they don't join on and get confused. He does have some commandos, so he is trying to think out the box and get some ideas on what he can do next. And he's decided commandos to try and sneak and do some harassment, which is definitely a good idea. Get some extra information on the enemy, because there is a commando over there right now. He can see it because of the vision from the units and structures here. Which is just unfortunate, really. And it looks like he had just enough energy to lift off these helicopters, but unfortunately they are going to end up forced to land down again. He can't really do anything about that right now. There just isn't enough energy to fund that amount of army or air units. And Thetan has found the power plants in the forest right now. That he's building another power plant here and a factory there. But the army is so close to him right now. They are probably going to destroy these 2 structures before they even become useful. It was something I used to do when I was first starting out in this game. When the enemy was approaching me, I'd build too close to them. I need to build way back and use them as reinforcements later on. We have a barracks on the front line here where he's bringing in units into the back, trying to take out this industry structure there. And the helicopter is off the ground again for Damon, but I don't know if that's going to last much longer. He's got 2 helicopters left over. One's going to get taken out by the tank on the ground if it doesn't take off soon. And that tank is really keeping his eye on him. It just literally went straight over himself. And there we go. The tanks actually took down a helicopter there. From Thetan's side of things, he is going to just try and take over as much land as he can. He's bringing his units out from here. And he's just trying to claim the territory now that he has some control over this area. There we go, the match has ended after one of these structures literally just blew up. Let me know what you thought of that match. What could either player have done to improve their strategy there? And I will have 2 videos on screen right now, and I'll see you in one of those. Thank you for watching. I'll see you around.